Thank you, Mr. Chairman, council members, and Parish President Cochran. I'm here to provide a report on the Personnel Office and Civil Service Board to you this evening. I wanted to start by giving a brief summary of the primary functions of the personnel staff and sharing a little of our staff with you. So as the personnel officer, I am responsible for the civil service system interpretation and administration, being an advisor to parish departments, the administration, as well as our employees, ensuring all local, state, and federal law compliance, managing employee relations and the grievance process, as well as overseeing our substance abuse program. Kayla Peaty is our personnel analyst, and she manages our employment process. That includes recruitment, qualifying, testing, and orientation. Renee Agurcia is our benefits specialist. She manages our employee benefits coordination and administration. She also helps manage our retirement system. Kim Perrette is our personnel technician. She manages deferred compensation, FMLA, which is family medical leave, payroll preparation, workman's compensation, and unemployment reporting and administration. And finally, we have Bambi Conaway. She's a new training analyst that that actually just started today. She manages employee training as well as our wellness program administration. This personnel office is really fortunate to have such a great staff with such valuable experience. And I know, having just started in November, they've been a great resource for me to be able to make a great transition. Some employment statistics that you may be interested in. We currently employ about 750. Now that's broken down by about 393 civil service employees, 38 appointed staff, that's the parish president's staff, 150 others on payroll, which includes like library, WIA, council members, justice of the peace. And then recently we've had as high as 167 seasonal and temporary employees, and I'll talk about that just a little bit further later in the presentation. The personnel office posted 103 jobs in-house in 2016. 59 of those were filled in-house, so individuals progressing from entry level, progressing into higher roles within the parish, and then 44 were filled externally. As far as retirements, in 2016, we had 6 employees retire. So far in 2017, we've had 3 employees retire. And we have 18 employees that are currently in the DROP program. And DROP is Deferred Retirement Option Plan, if that's something that you may or may not be familiar with. In terms of our personnel office activities, I'll go through, there's certainly a lot that we do in the personnel office, but I just wanted to hit a few of the highlights. There was a 1.1% cost of living pay increase that was approved in December of 2016. There was also a 1% or a 3% merit increase for civil service employees that is based on performance evaluations, one done at mid-year and one done kind of at the end of the year. There was a wage and pay plan study for all classified employees that was conducted by the Archer Company. Recommendations proposed by the Archer Company were submitted to Parish Administration, Parish Council, and Civil Service Board for approval. The Personnel Office actually transitioned to a new HR management personnel tracking software, which now helps us to integrate with our finance department. We also assisted our finance department with the transition to a new time clock software as well. Recently, on June 8th, we held our Service Awards banquet in conjunction with a training seminar. We had 52 employees that were acknowledged for their years of service, 36 employees that were acknowledged for perfect attendance. Mr. Earl Mathern Jr. was selected as Employee of the Year, and our training was provided by Mr. Frank Lee, which is our Ochsner Wellness Coordinator. A few more items. There were 5 in-house grievances filed by parish employees and investigated by the personnel officer. Of those 5 in-house grievances, none went to appeal to the Civil Service Board. We completed the renewal process for our group benefits. The parish did not see an increase in our premiums this year. We continue to implement our wellness program. 247 employees, so about 53% participated in the program, which we're very pleased with that, and we hope to see those numbers continue as we continue that wellness program over the next several years. We hosted on-site biometric screenings and flu shots. We held 2 Hello Health lectures for employees. One was on heart health and one was on exercise. And we coordinated a team of parish employees for the United Way Bridge Run, which, as my understanding, was a first for us, so we were excited about that. We coordinated and scheduled a benefits fair. This kicked off our open enrollment period for benefit changes. And I mentioned earlier our seasonal employees. So we onboarded at the beginning of the summer 136 seasonal employees. This was for summer internships that we had here at the courthouse and throughout the parish, all of our summer camps, summer feed program, and summer enrichment program. We continue to have a dedicated team of civil service board members. We have Mr. Ronnie Madair, our chairman, Mr. Jimmy Bro, our vice chairman, Mr. Brett Terrebonne, Mr. Ralph Wilderson, and Ms. Sarah Champion, all civil service board members. Some of their activities for this past year: there were 4 requests to approve new job descriptions, 4 requests to approve revisions to job descriptions, 3 requests to approve pay range changes, a request to approve the recommendations made by the Archer Company for the job study that was conducted for classified employees. Of course, a request to approve the 2017 employee holiday schedule and civil service board meeting schedule. And finally, there were no grievance appeals that went to the Civil Service Board. And this does conclude my report.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. Mr. Hogan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, to your new position. I think it's the first time me and you talk. One of the complaints I've received from some employees in the past was interpretation not being uniform across the board to every employee and reprimands not being uniform. Same thing may happen with 2 different people, but one person's getting treated one way, one's getting treated the other way. And I hope that you, during your terms of service, will apply the rules fairly and uniformly to everybody with no preferential treatment.
I think that's a good point. I appreciate that feedback. Something that I'm trying to make sure to implement, and I think, being new is really getting, when something occurs, really going out to all directors, or at least gathering some feedback from a few directors to ensure what they're doing in their area, to ensure that we are having some consistency. So good feedback.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Ms. Parker. I noticed on your PowerPoint presentation, when you had under the civil service employees, you had library, the workers wish the library system, get their funding through a millage. And I was just curious, I know that our volunteer fire departments across the parish have maybe less than a half a dozen paid individuals. Are they considered in the, are they factored in that number?
That's a good question. I am not aware that they are, but I would have to look into that to make sure that I'm giving correct information.
Okay, thank you.